Hello, welcome to another video from EarnPED.com. I'm Stevie B. Happy to have you all with me today. I've been doing Summer Migration 2023, and I'm actually going to head over to Minneapolis to turn in the missions. I did the daily mission for Touch a Nerve again, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that in, get the reward there. I'm also going to turn in the other mission, the Take a Break mission. I'm under the impression that it's also a quote-unquote daily mission, so I should be able to get it again tomorrow. However, it doesn't call itself a daily, so the second one, the Take a Break, may actually only be a once-a-year mission. But I did finally get it completed. So in my last video, I'm not sure if you guys will see it as the last one, but the last one I recorded, I completed rank 15 of the Longtooth Codex, which is one of the two migration codexes, the other one being the Eomon Codex. And I talked about the fact that these migration codexes for Longtooth and Eomon have a special feature that at certain ranks you have the possibility of additional skill rewards that we don't usually have. So specifically at rank 5, at rank 15, and at rank 25. In addition to the rarest skills like dodge and evade and bioregenesis and alertness that we usually pick from, we have a special set of additional skills that we can pick from at a reduced rate. And these are skills that are not available in any other codex as far as I'm aware. As far as I'm aware, this is unique to migration. And it's the only time we're going to be able to get these skills as part of a codex reward. So in my last video, that's why I pointed it out, but I said we would need to do a deep dive if we were really going to analyze these skills. Well, today we're going to do that deep dive because that's exactly what I had to do once I finished rank 15. In fact, I was halfway through rank 16 before I finally settled on which skill I wanted to choose. And yeah, I could have just picked something at random last night and went to bed, but I wanted to look at it with a fresh set of eyes and a clear head, because this being a rare opportunity that I'm not going to get again, I didn't want to just pick something haphazardly and then end up regretting it. So I want to talk about the deep dive today, and then I'll turn in the missions on another video and I'll show you guys all that good stuff, and then I've got some other videos I'll shoot after that. So first let's go over here into the wilderness a little bit. I'll turn down the sound effects for you guys. There we go. So the additional skills that we could pick from on those ranks were, I'm going to go from the bottom to the top: Zoology, Support Weapon Systems, Heavy Weapons, Explosive Projectile Weapon Tech, Computer, Botany, Biology, Animal Lore, and Analysis. So as far as I'm aware, none of these skills have an HP contribution. So normally there's certain skills that will contribute to HP, like every 800 skill points or every 1600 skill points or every 3200 skill points. As far as I'm aware, none of these skills that I just listed contribute to HP at all. Now I finished rank 15 of Longtooth, so the normal skill rewards: alertness, bioregenesis, bravado, concentration, dodge, evade, first aid, telepathy, translocating, vehicle repairing. If I'd picked one of those, the reward would have been 8.12 PED TT worth. For these additional, even rarer skills, the reward is only 5.2 PED. So, looking at that, let's start at the bottom of the list. And if we look at Zoology, I decided not to go with Zoology. Reason being is it contributes 2% to Animal Investigator, 4% to Animal Looter, 13% to Tamer, Pet Handler, 19% Resource Gatherer, 5%. So the only thing on that list that really interests me is the 4% contribution to Looter. So I moved on. Support Weapon Systems, Heavy Weapons, and Explosive Projectile Weapon Tech. Those are all skills that I have virtually none of, but they're also related to explosive projectiles and grenade launchers. I don't really use any of that stuff. So I just skipped over those three skills entirely because that doesn't really involve my gameplay. And that brings me to Computer. Computer contributes 2% to Animal Investigator, 5% to Archaeologist, 10% to Captain, 6% to Driller, 2% to Humanoid Investigator, 5% to Miner, 2% to Mutant Investigator, 5% to Robot Investigator, 4% to Robot Looter, 5% to Spacecraft Engineering, 2% to Tailor, 5% to technology investigator, 5% to tier upgrader. So really the only thing on that list that computer contributes to is robot looter at 4%. And robot looter is notoriously hard to grow, so there are some people out there that might pick computer. Why didn't I pick computer? Well, A, my robot looter is kind of on track with all my other looter professions at the moment. It's not something that's a major goal of mine to grow, at least not right this second. And if we look at my stats, I've actually got a decent amount of computer to begin with. I've already got 2,447 points because I'm naturally getting computer skills as I fly a mothership. And this is why I don't just repair the mothership, I also fly the mothership, because I do get skills like avoidance, serendipity, defense skills, but I also get very rare skills like computer, so I'm able to naturally grow my robot looter via that computer skill I'm getting while flying a mothership, which most people would not be able to do. So if you're somebody that already has level 100 animal looter and level 100 mutant looter, and your robot looter is like level 20, and you have 0 computer skills at all, then getting the computer reward might have been beneficial, but for me it just wasn't. So moving on from that, Botany is 8% to animal investigator, 24% to gardener, 5% to resource gatherer, so Botany does me no good at all. I skipped over it. Animal lore just contributes to pet handler and animal related stuff and does me no good at all, so I skipped animal lore. Biology is an interesting one because it gives 10% to animal investigator, 3% to animal looter, 20 to gardener, 8 to humanoid investigator, 5 to mutant investigator, 3 to mutant looter, and 6 to resource gathering. So biology is one that I strongly considered because I've got very, very little biology. My biology is only 371 total points. And it does contribute 3% to both animal looter and mutant looter. So it was on my short list. It was actually one of my last 2 picks. It was down to either this or one other skill. However, if you notice, robot looter isn't on that list. But biology was on the list of ones that I was really having a hard time choosing from because it does lag so badly, and I really don't have a chance to get it very often in-game naturally. And that brings me to my last one, which was analysis, which ended up being the one that I picked. And the reason I picked it is because it's 10% to animal investigator, 5% to animal looter, 12% to gardener, 10 to humanoid investigator, 10 to mutant investigator, 5 to mutant looter, 14 to resource gatherer, 10 to robot investigator, 5 to robot looter, 10 to technology investigator, and 5% to tier upgrader. So if you notice, 5% to animal looter, mutant looter, and robot looter, bada bing, bada boom, all 3 looter professions, all 3 of 5% contribution. So analysis was the only one that would allow me to contribute to all 3 of my looter professions, and it happened to also, out of those most valuable skills, be the one that contributes the most at 5% to each. Now, whenever I chose to go with analysis as my reward, I already had a few hundred points. I now have... Where'd it go? I now have 1,493 points of analysis. That is after claiming my 5.2 PED. So 1493 minus 937 that I got out of it, that means that I had 556 points of analysis to begin with. So I have been able to gather a very, very small amount of it naturally. But like biology, it was virtually none. 500 points is nothing. 300 points is nothing. So with that 5.2 PED TT took me from 556 points to 1,493. I gained 937 points by just getting that 5.2 PED TT reward, and it actually pushed my animal looter all the way through the rest of level 46 into 47 to 47.3. So I not only rolled into level 47, but about a third of the way through level 47 at that. So for me personally, that's why analysis was the winner. If I didn't naturally get science from flying computer from flying a mothership, then I would have probably picked computer if I already had level 100 animal and mutant looter, and my robot looter had been dragging very, very badly. And there's a lot of people that's the case. They do have level 100 robot and animal looter, and they don't get computer naturally from playing Mothership. So there's a lot of people that in that scenario, if that was your goal to raise your robot looter, and that was your exact scenario of how you play, not flying a Mothership, not getting computer skills naturally, that might have been the better option. If I was only concerned with animal and mutant looter and didn't care about robot at all, I could have gone with biology. But again, it's only a 3% contribution, and this was a 5% contribution, and they were almost the same point-wise. So I would have gotten about the same result. This just gave me an extra 2% contribution, so why not take it? Now, there might be people out there that naturally somehow have a higher analysis than I did and have a very, very low biology for some reason that maybe that would have worked better for, and that would have been their setup. But given my setup, given that I wanted to hit all 3 of the looter professions, given that I wanted the highest possible contribution to each, and given that my analysis and my biology were right there together, and I really didn't have to worry about computer because I get it naturally, out of those rarest possible skills, then obviously analysis was the one, after doing this deep dive, that made the most sense. Now, I could have gone with alertness from the normal category 3 skills, and I almost did because of how bad my alertness lags. It's a 6% contribution to the looter professions across the board, and it's a 5% contribution to my evader profession, which is the one I'm really concerned with because I'm at level 54, and I'm trying desperately to get to 55 to unlock quickness. But I can get alertness on any codex, not just this one. And this is one of only 2 more opportunities, only 3 total. I was already past rank 5, so I already took care of that a year ago. And I probably did it less than ideally. But I'm only going to have 1 more chance to get these skills. So since I only had 2 chances at this, and I can get alertness anytime, that's why I decided to go with analysis. Because after I get the analysis for rank 15, which I just did, and again on rank 25, that will very likely be all of the analysis skills that I ever get until next year when I start doing the Eomon Codex chain. So that being the case, it's a rare event. You only get it 1 time. Make the most of it. And that's why I wanted to go ahead and do the deep dive, tell you guys how I did the deep dive and why it worked for me, but also why it might not work the same way for people in certain situations. There might be some people, like I said, if you already have very, very high animal and mutant looter, and you have very, very low robot looter, and that's what you're really focusing on, and you don't fly Mothership, so you don't get computer naturally, computer may be the better option. There may be people who already have very, very high analysis skills, but very, very low biology, that don't care about robot looter at all, and maybe they're wanting to focus on just getting their animal looter to move because it's such a high level. Unless they go with biology, and they're not going to be able to get their looter needle to even move anymore. They're having the same problem that I am with Evade. So it's going to depend on what your situation is in game, what your playstyle is in game, the things that you do and don't do in game naturally, and what your goals are. But now you guys at least know the reasoning behind why I picked analysis, why it fits my style of gameplay, and why some of the other options may be a better choice for you based off what your goals are and your style of gameplay. So I'll leave it there for today. Sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Head over to EarnPED.com because when you earn, we earn. That is by far the best way you guys can help to support us. Guys, be sure and check out every content creator and every service provider in-game that closely aligns with your deeply held values. It's not worth an extra couple of pegs to sell out. So if your values are aligned with us at EarnPED.com, we appreciate that. But if they're more closely aligned with Entropia partners, Zoology.io, or PEDflow, support them. We want you to support the players and services and content that most closely aligns with your values. However, if that's EarnPED, simply use the links on the website to go to hideout.tv. We will automatically be added as a redemption option for your points. Guys, please hit all 3 of those buttons as YouTubers talk about. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. You've only got to do it 1 time. It's free. It takes 1 second. And then you're notified when we post new content. And then please hit that like button on every single video. That way we can help combat the trolls that are waiting for us to post something just so that they can hate on us, but also so that YouTube will give us more exposure. We can get these videos in front of people who play MMOs and real cash economy games who have never heard of Entropia, and then hopefully they start watching the channel, they end up in game, now they're part of the community, part of the economy, maybe even somebody you play with someday, or somebody in a society, or a teammate of yours, all because you hit those buttons to support us. So we really, really appreciate it, but it supports more than just us. It supports the game and the economy too. So do it. Thank you guys. It really means a lot. Till next time, sip, sip, smack, smack. Y'all know the rest. Take care, Stevies.